Hi everyone, Michael from BullionNow, bullionnow.com.au. So interesting development today is reported by the Australian Financial Review. We've had the first commercial transaction occur of an Australian CBDC. So for those that don't know, a CBDC is a central bank digital currency. So effectively it's a cryptocurrency that's been issued by the Reserve Bank of Australia. Now, the Reserve Bank of Australia is doing trials with these things. And there's been a bit of background work been going on, but this is really the first time it's actually been used in an actual real transaction, and it was between two farmers at a cattle auction. So the whole transaction, or the financial side of the transaction, occurred through this CBDC, or EAUD, so Electronic Australian Dollar. Now, it's interesting for a whole variety of reasons. One is that they practically managed to do it. The platforms are now there and have been developed so that they can do it. And it's showing the positive side of the CBDC. The transaction was done instantaneously. It didn't need a broker in the middle. It was done at a far cheaper price, about half the price of what a cattle transaction cost normally is for these types of things. So there's all those sorts of benefits in it. But there's also the negative sides, and a lot of people will be far more au fait with this than I am. But the obvious ones are the fact that it's going to reduce the amount of money that is on deposit in commercial retail banks. Now, some people would say, well, that's a good thing. Yeah, it is, but it's a bad thing from a pool of currency available for mortgages and those types of things, because that's where a lot of our deposits go to, is going into the bank and then out through mortgages. The other side of it is also the reliance on technology, and we've seen even quite recently, CBA had their whole system go down relatively recently, where if you had a Commonwealth Bank account, you couldn't do a transaction or a transfer for almost 24 hours. So you've got those risks involved with it. And then you've got also the other obvious risks of the advantage and disadvantage, the traceability of each transaction. Now, in this article, if you get a chance to read it, and I will link to it, but I think you've got to have a subscription to the Fin Review to actually read the article. But you'll actually see there it's saying, well, it's great because it's fully traceable, and you can attach, the cattle criteria in there. So their age, their breed, their breeding values, all this type of stuff can be contained within that cryptocurrency information. The bad side is obviously that each transaction is incredibly traceable. So there's a lot of our private and personal information that will be able to be attached to our transfers and transactions and our currency even. And so it allows that higher level of Big Brother oversight. So an interesting development, one that I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays out. I guess I've got probably the same as a lot of people watching this video. I've got a lot of mixed emotions. As an ex-farm boy, I can absolutely see the benefits of the transaction that occurred today. But as a stacker and as part of the Australian population, I suppose, and being on the slightly more suspicious side, I can absolutely appreciate the negatives that this will bring in with it. So anyway, if you get a chance, I will link as much as I can to this video down below of the article. But maybe do some Googling and see if you can find the article, because it's an interesting, while it's done at a fairly surface level, it's an interesting beginning insight into CBDCs and how they may impact our society moving forward. That's it for now. We'll talk again very, very soon. See ya.